warring of gods has endangered these lands. I must keep the balance.
What's going on, everyone? It's Nico, and I'm on the PTS, and I'm bringing you some new Wa action, and new spelled with an N-E-W and not an N-U, because that's what I'm going to refer to new Wa as. So I played her once already, just to get familiar with everything. And I think for your first 3 levels, you want to do this. You want to put 2 points into your 3 and 1 into your 1. Because the fog actually does a decent amount of damage early game. And, well, I mean, not early game, just all in general. The only thing is it moves really slow. So, you're not going to be hitting anybody like a god with that. You're going to be hitting minions and stuff. Well, I mean, you can hit gods with it. You just got to set it up. But yeah, this is the new Nuwa. She basic attacks, she has abilities, and she has a new passive, and she looks cool, and she's hot, and she's got underboob, but you can't see it until you start to back. There it is. But yeah, so, let's go over something. Strength of Wood is our new passive. Basically, after 5 basic attacks, your 6th basic attack, sorry, gets a root. The root lasts for 1.5 seconds. It's actually pretty strong, especially if you're good at aiming that, because just having a free root every 1.5 seconds is pretty damn amazing. It doesn't help that roots take off Magi's Blessing. So if you have a Nuwa on your team, and the enemy team has a bunch of Magi's Blessings on their team, then you could just use Nuwa to take it off really easily. It's like, oh, she just basic attacked it away. Cool. Yeah. So, the fog works differently now. Instead of running with you, it just kind of goes by itself. You just throw it out there. So, like, as you've seen, I just throw it out there. It does more damage than it used to. It does a set, like, base amount from 50 to 250, and then if they keep standing in it afterwards, they take 20% of that damage in taking damage every second they stand in it. So, don't worry, it doesn't do, like, a literal butt-fuck ton of damage. It does a lot. It can do a lot, but not that much. Also, I didn't take a point in the ultimate because her ultimate at this level doesn't matter and does, like, literally no damage. So I'd much rather do that to blow Robot up with the minion instead. But let's go over minions. So she makes minions again. Not a big deal. She's been doing that since she was old Nuwa. Difference. Let's kill these guys off. And go back. These minions now have health equal to 200 plus 20% of Nuwa's max health, which means if you really wanted to, you could build health on Nuwa and have her minions have more health. But, I mean, she's a burst mage now, not an... well, she's a weird hybrid burst mage auto attacker, I feel, because her passive is clearly auto attacks, but her spells are all clearly burst mage, like, skill shots. But, anyway, back to just the clay soldiers. They do 20 to 60 per hit of damage. You get magical protection reduction on them from 5 to 25. That stacks up to 3 times. And they do that by hitting people. It shreds their magical protections. As you can see, Ra is also taking damage as he keeps walking with that at a reduced rate. So for each time a minion hits someone, they'll take off magical protections. One of the things you have to know is that she no longer gets 5. She only gets 3. And how it works is you put 1 point into it, you get 1. You put 2 points into it, you get 2. And then for your 3rd and 4th levels, you still have 2 until your 5th level of it, and then you have 5. So it would be good to get a early 2nd point, but then kind of leave it. Or, now, it's just an or, because I am still trying to figure out what to level on her. The way her 2 and her 3 interact is that... Okay, well, her 3 is just called Shining Metal. It's a single, like, not single target. It's a line skill shot that hits everything, goes through walls, so you can do that and hit somebody. It does some good damage, but the thing is, you use a minion, the minion stuns people. So, it's good, and now we can show off the ultimate because he's actually low enough to die by it. But... see, the thing that I'm thinking of is whether or not you should level the 2 for the additional damage on the stun. Because as it works, when you hit a minion with Shining Metal, it explodes, doing such and such amount of damage. I don't know whether, like, when it goes up by when you level up Shining Metal. So it does 240 plus 50% of your magical power contribution, and the minion explode does 160 plus 50%. But the thing I'm wondering is, do the minions, like the more minions you have, let's just have you take the damage real quick, does it stack on top of itself? Like, do the multiple explosions hit? Because I can't properly test that. Just against bots, because I can't see the numbers pop up, and raw, like after a certain point, raw dies so fast that it's too hard to tell. So I'm not sure if it does stack. If it does, then it would be worth to level up the 2 at least one more time, so that way you could have an additional how much damage? So another 200 damage, like from blowing the 2 minions up in someone's face. If it doesn't, then I would think it would just be best to upgrade the fog. That way you could stun someone fog and then do a shit ton of burst. So kind of her combo for like abilities, like when you go to attack somebody, seems to be. Let's just get one more point into that. Let me get my Shining Metal back. Stop it. You're gonna regret that shit. That. And also, it looks like it does. The more minions you have and explode on top of someone, the more damage you do. So you could really burst someone hardcore if you get the minions stacked up like that. So that's one of the things you're gonna have to be trying to do as a new WoW player, is getting your minions to attack one person and blowing them all up at once. Another thing is that, shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, the minions dash at targets now. If they see someone, or if they see minions or gods, is what I should say. They don't dash after towers. They dash after them. So let's put them over here. See, they like try to go after them. So I don't know whether or not they prioritized gods as like their primary target. So wow, he actually predicted that. He's fucking cheating ass Rawbot. So what I mean by that is, like, if I do this where Raw's kind of near stuff, they don't seem to prioritize Raw over minions. They seem to just go whatever's nearest. I'm gonna kill you because you're a dumbass. No, that won't kill. I missed. Let's just go up in the air. Oh, it would have killed. I should have just done it. It did 247. He only had like 200 health. Damn it. That well ticking HP though. Too strong. But now Nua's kind of like Agni in the sense that you have to make sure you're paying attention to your passive, because if you're not, then you're going to end up wasting your root on something like a minion. So I like that about her. So far, I like the way she feels a lot more than the old Nuwa, because the old Nuwa was not a PvP character. She was a PvE objective-pushing, backdooring, split-pushing character in a PvP game, whereas this Nuwa is clearly more suited to PvP than just pushing towers. The minions can still, like, you can still kind of split-push with the minions and use the fog and stay in it, and, like, you could do something like this and stay on the outskirts, and people will probably still hit you there because they're not used to Nuwa being not inside of it like she has to. Like, what I'm saying is, basically, people aren't going to be used to the new Nuwa yet, and they're going to be trying to hit the front of the fog when you're not going to be even near there. So, yeah, people are probably going to fuck up and think you're still at the tip of it when you could be anywhere from the back to the sides, and it's like you could just be hanging out in this corner. So make sure to take advantage of that. And if you really want to freak people out, like, come from the jungle, just throw it, and then go an entirely different direction and and juke someone out. So that's another thing you can do that I can think of off the top of my head. But she can kind of do her split push thing, but at the same time she can't, because she no longer damages towers with abilities, thankfully. So she can't just walk, like, I can't just put minions down, walk up to the Phoenix, flame strike it for fucking like 600 with full build, and then Polynomicon auto attack it for the rest of its health. Like, that's not something she could do. Like, I could still do this. Oh, nobody's here? Well, I'll just get free damage on the tower. Like, you can do that, but you can't. Like, if I was old Nuwa, I would have been able to take that. Probably. Like, that's how much damage she did to towers back then. Now she clearly does more damage to people than her, like, towers. Also, her cooldowns are a hell of a lot longer. I don't remember if Clay Minion was always 18 seconds, but damn, that's long. Shining Metal is actually only 8 seconds, and Mysterious Fog is 15, and her ultimate's 110. So everything is a large, not large, but long cooldown other than, like, Shining Metal. So it might be worth to go full CDR Nuwa still, just so you could pump out damage. I'm not exactly sure, because most of the time when you get, like, a burst character, you want as much pen and damage as you possibly can get, but she has long cooldowns, so you gotta be careful, because if you're using your fog offensively, that's like your one way to get out of shitty situations, and if you're using it to get damage on things, you're without your only real escape. And I mean, as an escape, it's not bad because it's something. See, that's something I was worried about, is that the minions would try to, like, would not prioritize gods first. But as you can see, the fog does a shit ton of damage after you get damage. It's 250 plus 50%. So don't, like, before, when you thought you could stand a Nuwa's fog, yeah, don't do that anymore. You're gonna have a really bad time. So I like this Nuwa more. She's a PvP character, finally. So that's my thoughts on it. Is she OP? Her ultimate definitely isn't, but that doesn't mean she's not, because, like, you can just root somebody and have them take 120% of the damage from that. Okay, the shredding is magical protections. Let's do a shit ton of damage. Do that, even though it's gonna leash and get its health back. Yeah. Also, the fog goes through walls, just so you know. You can't. People were thinking, oh, Jungle Nuwa, and I don't know. Jungle Nuwa might work. I'm probably not gonna try it because I'm not a fan of weird, like, fringe junglers, like junglers that kind of don't work but sort of do in casual, but not anywhere near any kind of competitive level. Like, I don't know, I like my physical junglers, I like my melee characters. I don't like taking mages into the jungle, except for, like, Freya, because that's, like, her best spot, but that's just me. I don't know. Yeah, that does more damage the more minions you have on top of people, because I wouldn't have killed them otherwise. But yeah, I like this a lot more because she just feels better as a character. Can't speak of whether or not she's going to be OP, because to get her stun, you have to make sure there's no other, like, you got to make sure there's no minions around. Or the clay minions will dash after the minions, and then you'll be screwed, because you don't want that to happen. The fog does a lot of damage. Shining Metal can do a lot of damage. Fog's way easier to hit than the Shining Metal, so I don't know. She could be dangerous, but I don't think people are going to understand how to play her when she first comes out, so you probably don't have to worry about her for a little bit. Even though it's going to be funny seeing a bunch of legendary Nuwas when they're all like, I have no idea how to play this new Nuwa. But yes, that's Nuwa. I think she's better. I think she's cooler. And I don't know. I like this version of her way more than the old one so far. But yeah, I can't really think of anything else to talk about other than you want to try to, like, make sure not to waste your passive, because even if you don't hit something with that 6th hit, when you shoot it, it goes. So then you have to restart. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6th hit will root. If it doesn't hit anything and you just whiff, it's gone. So you need to be careful. You actually need to aim your 6th auto attack after getting 5 successful autos. And if you can set it up properly, you could just do auto attacks, fog. Then after they get rooted, you can throw the minions at them and then stun them and do a shit ton of damage with Shining Metal. And if for some reason they start to get away, you can go up in the sky and dunk them. Or another thing is, if the ultimate doesn't do that much damage, especially early game. It's better for revealing everyone on the map to see where they are and see what they're doing than it is to try to get damage out on someone when you have it at like level 1 or 2. Just so you know. It's better just to go up and be like, I wonder where the jungler is. We haven't seen him in a while. You go up in the air, and then you can see that he's about to gank left lane. Boom, you just saved your left lane some trouble. You know, stuff like that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and my thoughts on new Wa. And yeah, leave it a like if you liked it. Leave a dislike if you didn't like it. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.